Good morning. Hello to my Self-Care Society friends. Welcome. We have a very, very special thing going on today, as many of you know. Man, I'm trying to exit out of this screen. Hello, good morning, everyone. So we have a special class, as many of you know. Good morning from Oregon, Lori. Hi, Nazi. Karen. Oh, Nazi's got a rainy day in New Jersey. Love it. It's like in the 90s in Vegas already, so I'd love a rainy day, but grass is always greener. My grass is actually very brown, but we won't get into that. Hi, Kim. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Sherry. Hi, everyone. All right, we'll give everyone a few minutes to join in, but welcome to Self-Care Society. My name is Danica Bryce. I will be one of your guides for today's session. And we put together a really special class today. As you know, we don't bring in guests very often, but we thought this was a really beautiful, aligned opportunity and such a gift to bring Kate Northrup here. All right, amazing. So without further ado, Miss Kate Northrup, would you come join us? I know you're here. Good morning.
Hi, I'm here, and I can't get the camera on the right thing. So
that's okay. If anyone's a forgiving audience,
I've been like, gonna be over here then. I'm like, this is not my good camera, and I don't know how to fix it.
Well, I think you look beautiful. First of all, are you? Let me just make sure everyone can see in gallery and see both of us. Does everyone see both of us? Yeah, Kate. I actually just maybe a month ago got a second screen, and most of these folks have been with me. I was like, as I clunkily, I don't know if that's a word, but figure out how to use it. So you look great. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be with you. Hi, you look great.
Well, thank you. So we put together, or you put together rather, this amazing class for all of us. And we gather here every Monday and Friday just to do self-care, journaling, mostly guided journaling work. And we wanted to bring this money spin to this. So I know most of my community is very familiar. How many of you have read Kate's books? Which books have you read? I know most of you are very familiar with Kate, and she's done workshops with us before, but Kate is an amazing best-selling author. And there's been different things that you've covered over the years, and I think you're such a perfect example of like the evolution and the permission to evolve and the permission to step into, okay, like this is what is really resonating. And I find you always speak to what I need at any given time, but you've always been talking about money. Like yes. You have your first book was Money, a Love Story. Is that your first book?
Yes. That's what I thought. I've only written 2 so far.
Well, they were so great. I feel like there's, but you've been talking about money for a long time. And I think money is it's so foundational, especially in the sense of living an intentional life and freedom and all of that. And there's a lot of feelings about money today. So anyway, we're doing this class together, y'all, because Kate has upcoming beginning next week, a 3-part totally free workshop called Good with Money. I'm going to paste the link in the chat for all of you if you want to register, and we'll talk a little bit more at the end. But can you give them just a quick overview, Kate, before we jump into our exercises for today, like what to expect?
Yeah, so Good with Money is a once-a-year event that I do. It is backed by popular demand, and we serve creatives, leaders, folks in corporate, entrepreneurs, artists, anybody for whom money is crunchy in any way. And we serve high earners and under earners, because the truth is that it's not about how much money you have, it's about how you relate to your money. And that is the ultimate abundance unlock. And so in this workshop live, we're going to be changing your money nervous system thermostat settings. So we will, in real time, rewire your nervous system together so that money feels safer. And then we're also going to walk you through, I am going to walk you through creating your relaxed money map. That's a personalized plan for your next steps in your wealth creation journey. So it's energetic, embodied, and incredibly practical and super, super fun.
Amazing. And we're going to touch on some of this stuff today in class.
Yeah.
Amazing. So Kate put together some prompts for us, and this is going to be a class like all our classes, but just a little extra special. So we do have prompts. Get your journal, get your pens. You will have time to do exercises. We'd love hearing from you, share in the chat. And yeah, this workshop is I'm so excited for it, Kate. Like I won't get into it too much. We're going to do an IG live next week, which I'll remind all of you about too. We want to get into class today, but it's, I love what you say, like high earners and under earners. Like there's this balance of all of it, right? So, sorry, my mouse is frozen for a second. Can you hear me, Kate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On the topic of my double screens, it gives me a little bit of trouble sometimes. Okay, so we're going to start with a quote from an amazing person named Kate Northrup, and this is actually from your book, A Money, a Love Story. We start all our classes with a quote, so I'm going to read this quote for y'all. Somewhere along the way, we've gotten the message that the more we struggle and the more we suffer, the more valuable we will become and the more successful we'll eventually be. We believe that if we just work hard enough, endure enough hardship, or push ourselves through enough pain, we'll finally get the rewards we deserve. But this mentality is actually what keeps us stuck in scarcity, and it's a dangerous belief that holds us back from true thriving. We need to realize that we don't have to suffer to succeed. And I was that's a good one, right?
I literally wrote that 15 years ago, so I'm like, cool, not bad.
Still relevant. But true, right? Like that was one of the biggest things when I was in your mastermind group, and I was like, I remember you said, like, could there be another way? Like, does it have to be hard? Does it have to feel like struggle and sacrifice and all that? And you're like, could there be another option? And I was like, I never thought of it that way. So we are going to start with our first exercise that you provided us. And the way that I have this is I'd love for you to read, I'm going to paste this in the chat, Kate, and everyone. I'd love for you to read the prompt for us, Kate. And then I wrote an example, or you can maybe give, and I'd rather that you give a little bit of an example. And then they'll take a few minutes to do the exercise. So this is our reflection exercise titled Your Money Belief System.
Okay. So the prompt is, what messages about wealth, success, and worth did you absorb from your family? What kinds of words did your family use to discuss money? And was it talked about at all? And I'm going to add to that in just like a little extra thing to think about. When I'm asking what messages about wealth, success, and worth did you absorb, I want you to tune into not only what were the words that were said, but what was modeled and what were the feelings around it. And we can get into why in a little bit. We certainly will during Good with Money. And then if anything comes up for you, write about any specific memories or conversations that shaped your current relationship with money. How are these inherited beliefs serving you or limiting you today? So I'll just give an example from my life. I grew up technically with enough money. However, the relationship that was modeled to me was a relationship of stress and pressure and conflict and needing to sacrifice well-being as a family, needing to sacrifice joy and other things my parents loved in order to make money. And they always were working as though there was some external, monkey on their back or monster on their back, forcing them to do something that ultimately, it's not that they didn't want to do it, but there was interwoven in it that success financially and status-wise matters the most. And we endure a certain amount of stress and sacrifice in order to have that. And so that's an example in my own life.
Amazing. Thank you, Kate. Okay, so we're going to have about 3 minutes here to work on this exercise. I'll put the prompt on screen as usual, and then we'll come back. If anything, as you're writing, if you want to share, I'll let you know when we have about a minute left. We'd love to read that in the chat. All right, so we'll be back. take about 1 more minute. 1 more minute. Love for you to share in the chat anything that came through. Okay. Really good stuff being shared here. Kate, do you want to read any of these, or I can read them?
Yeah, I thought this one was really interesting from Sarah. Money is only good or worthy if you had to sacrifice or work hard for it. Easy money is lazy. Yikes. Yeah, that's a common one. I also want to share Kristen's save and invest. The goal is to have your money work for you rather than you working for your money. Love that financial education you received. I'm like into that. So I really like to celebrate that sometimes we did receive messages that were actually incredibly supportive.
Lori says wealth equals snobby. Money was tight. Parents did not trust one another. Yeah, we see that a lot. Beautiful, beautiful. Jess says, I will always remember nagging my parents to complete the FAFSA, and they finally sat me down and said, we won't qualify for aid. I had no idea we had wealth because of how my family acted around money. Yeah. Wow.
Fascinating. So many financial secrets.
Yes.
Very common, very, very common thing in families, financial secrets.
Yes. So our next exercise is a journaling exercise. I'm going to paste it in the chat here. And this exercise, Kate, is called How Do You Feel About Money? So it's simple and sweet. Do you want to guide us here?
Yeah. So how do you feel about money? Which is, you could go a lot of places with that. So go wherever your psyche takes you. It's always the right direction. How does money make you feel in your body now? When you think about money, how do you feel in your body? And then how do you want it to feel? Yeah. So, it could be, I know you wrote this example here, Danica. Do you want to read it just
Sure.
for me?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So I still struggle with feeling like money can be scarce and that I really have to work hard and hustle to earn it. I sometimes struggle asking for my worth. Simultaneously, I also feel really abundant and mentally can keep myself in this headspace if I'm intentional. But I think some of the more subtle beliefs and actions that I have around money are sending a conflicting message. I want it to feel easy. I want it to feel like there is plenty of money and like I have plenty is Kate's amazing podcast. It's such a perfect word for this conversation. And like I have more than enough for my bills and I'm really just deciding how to invest or grow it. I want to feel more confident in asking for my worth and not projecting my money beliefs negatively. But when I wrote that, I like reflected back and I was like, is that not me in my body? Like, is that me intellectualizing, or was I not talking about how it feels in my body?
Well, I think it's actually a great example because we don't, and I'll be quiet in a minute because I know we want to give people a minute, but the piece that I bring to the money conversation that really nobody else brings is your body, because everything we think money is going to make us feel cannot be experienced outside of our body. Every feeling we ever have in our lives is felt in a body. And what most personal development people don't understand, and what we're really just receiving the research on now and updating ourselves, is that the vast majority of our behavior is rooted in patterning in the body. And so when we can start asking those questions about the body, it's very powerful, but we will have to retrain ourselves because most people, especially really smart people like you, we just go into our heads. We just get conditioned that way. So yeah, feel like go see, actually, if you can say, like, close your eyes. When I think about money, how do I feel in my body?
Yeah, beautiful. I can't wait to hear what all of you come up with. Maybe you can access your body a little better than I can. I'm working on it. But anyway, we'll take just a couple of minutes here and then we'll come back. All right. So get started and I'll get you your exercise. How does money feel? How do you feel about money? How does money feel in your body? About one more minute. Share if you'd like. Come on back. Some really interesting stuff in the chat. Kate, did anything stand out that you wanted to mention?
They're so powerful. Michelle is sharing when she was making good money, she felt relaxed and free, life felt fun and full of possibilities, felt worthy of having fun. And she got laid off last year, and now she's feeling tense and fearful and guilty for spending on anything non-essential. And she suspects that that scarcity patterning is affecting how she presents in the world and how she sleeps and her health. And then Kendra said, I didn't realize I was forcefully clenching my jaw and that I felt like I had a weight on my chest until the question was asked. But what I want to feel is at ease, in flow, and at peace with the movement, only knowing that growth is the greatest opportunity ahead of me.
Wow. These are awesome. Oh my goodness. I know I want to read through all of these. Yeah, like always been based, Thea was saying my feelings about money have always been based in the feeling of fear. Fear I won't have enough, fear that I'm wasting what I do have, fear that I'm not working hard enough, fear that I don't deserve what I'm asking for. I have like this secret, and the secret is, it's no longer a secret, I'm going to tell you, is that, we have an RV, and the RV to me represents, it's like this sort of backup plan. Like it's this thing that I hang on to because if everything hit the fan and I lost my house and everything, I'm like, we could live in the RV. And I have this fear, like I'm very fortunate that if something happened, I have plenty of ways that I would not end up on the streets with my family. But it's that, right? It's like, we clench, right? And we hold tight. So that's my secret. Don't tell anyone. Okay. So our next exercise, Kate, is a clarity exercise. And this exercise is called the impact of a money shift. So let me pop this in the chat. The impact of a money shift. So if you want to read the prompt for us.
Great. So the prompt is, what areas of your life might be transformed if you spent more time nurturing your relationship with money? How might shifting your relationship with money impact your family and friends as well, and possibly impact your community beyond your family and friends, which was not on the prompt. And so an example of this really is, and we already had somebody bring it up in the chat. She said, I suspect that essentially my relationship with money is impacting my sleep and my health and the way I present in the world. I know for many, many of my students, their relationship with money is impacting their marriage, or their partnership is impacting the way they parent, is impacting the way they show up at work, and maybe impacting friendships and certainly our physical health, because we know that stress is the #1 cause of illness and money is the #1 cause of stress. So answer for yourself, what positive also, how might your life be transformed, and really dream into that.
Beautiful. All right, we'll take about 2 minutes here. And I have an example there if you'd like to read. It'll be on the slide too if you want my example, but I'm sure you can answer this question for yourself. So.
Oh, you're muted.
Rule in self-care society is that I'm not allowed to mute myself because this happens a lot. But I had a cough, so I muted myself. And if you weren't here, we would be 5 minutes down the road and I'd still be talking because there's a chat delay. So thank you for that. I'm sure everyone's thrilled. It's the reason I don't mute myself, because I do that often. Okay. So thank you.
I do that all the time too.
Ashley just ordered both your books,
which is great. Thank you, Ashley.
Amazing. Very smart move. They're incredible. You want to read what Thea shared, and then we'll jump into our final prompt?
So Thea shared, I know my ability to play would skyrocket if I had a better relationship with money. Going back to the first prompt a little, I'm realizing I received a lot of programming that we didn't have enough money to be carefree, not enough money to seek health care if we got hurt, etc. So even to this day, I really prioritize safety and comfort above fun and pleasure. Even my dog is affected. I get so scared watching her run and play because I worry if she hurts herself, I won't be able to help her. That's so interesting, Thea. Thank you for sharing that. I have like so many things to say, but we'll get into it in the Good with Money workshop. And then Kim is saying we talk to our young adult kids about the significance of saving and investing money, but I'd like to talk about it with more confidence and less fear to give them healthier impressions of what's possible for their future.
Mm.
I love that so much. And Lori said, if I felt more in flow with money, I suspect I would do more fun things, maybe more relaxed. If money were just a number, it would feel more heart centered. I love this thread of fun and play that's emerging. So beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have a final exercise. It's a visualization exercise, your most abundant self, or maybe manifestation, whatever you want to call it. So, Kate, take it away.
Describe your most abundant self in vivid detail, not just financially, but holistically. What do they feel like? How do they relate to money? And how is that different from your current relationship? And really focus on your five senses. What, you know, that what is this person like doing, but smelling, seeing, feeling, hearing, touching, like sensory, can be really helpful. So an example, my most abundant self is vibrant, energized, and living with generosity and impact. I feel a deep sense of security and peace. I get to be playful, there it is again, and spend money building our home to be our absolute sanctuary. I get to treat the people I love, adventure all over the world, and spend present time with my daughters. My stress levels are low and my ease can be felt in everything. I'm abundant in space, time, joy, and freedom, not stuff. Incredible.
Thank you, Kate. All right, friends, so let's take a couple minutes before we wrap up here to envision your most abundant self. Okay, we can start wrapping up. And we'll come on back, or feel free to flow if you've got a few extra minutes. I love what Kim said. Kate, do you want to read that as a as a final?
Kim said, my most abundant self is in Hawaii, always warm and unbothered by the price of papaya.
I mean, ain't that
I
the
love
truth?
the specificity of that. Like, that is goals.
That is freaking amazing. So, Kate, thank you so much. Thank you all for being here today. Kate, thank you for making the time. I know you have a busy schedule. I don't know if busy. Do we use busy? You're doing less. You have a spacious.
Not busy.
She's not busy. I'm sorry. Correction. Not busy. happy to be here, all the spaciousness in the world. See, that's it. Like even that reprogramming, right? So we did this together as, we're partnering in just helping people find your amazing free Good with Money workshop. So just again, before we wrap up here, just, what can they expect? We dropped the link in the chat, by the way, for all of you watching the replay. The link will be below the video, and we'll send it out in email as well, so you can find it. But if you'd like, I'd encourage you to just register here. Again, free, amazing. Why don't you give us a final kind of what to expect?
Yeah, so we really went on this journey together in a very short period of time, and I can feel these aspirations and desires bubbling up. And so what we're going to do in the workshop is take those desires and rewire your neural programming so that they become habitual and automatic and not something you have to like try hard to receive and experience around your money. So you'll get to rewire your money nervous system thermostat, clear out some of this old stuff, bring front and center your desires, and then have the practical action steps to get there, no matter your income, no matter your life scenario.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kate. I cannot wait to be there. We kick off on the 17th. It's over the course of 2 weeks, so it's nice and spacious for all y'all, but the first day is on the 17th. So follow that link, check it out. It's going to be amazing. Kate, thank you so much for your time. Such a gift to have you here. And all of you have an amazing weekend. We'll see you very soon.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Danica. Love you.